What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for a brand new video. It is still the international break, but we have a couple of things on the agenda today. One is DCL and Daniel Farke's comments on him. I want to get your thoughts on that. What I also want to get your thoughts on is too good, too bad. Who surprised you so far this season? Who's disappointed you so far this season? And I'll get into my choices as well. So I want to hear from you in the comment section. And we got a couple of bits at the end as well in terms of transfers that aren't happening for Leeds. But I did look at one of them and think, we better not. We better not, people. But before I get into it, please like the video. Go on about it a little bit now. But it really is important in the YouTube algorithm that you like the content. So please do that for me. If you want to become a member of the channel, the links are all over the place. They're in the description. They're on the YouTube page. So if you want to support in that way, it really is appreciated. So DCL, Daniel Farke spoke about him recently. And yeah, there was a bit about it that I just don't agree with in terms of DCL. And it's something that a few of you have said in regards to DCL, that you're happy with his performances and everything else like that. I get it for the all-round stuff, but at the end of the day, he's got 1 goal in 5, and he has missed 5 big chances in terms of that. His shot conversion rate at this moment in time is 11.1%, which, let's face it, is around what he's been doing at Everton over the past few years when he's been available to play. But Daniel Farke did speak about him and that he shouldn't obsess over the misses. And let me just get a couple of quotes here. No, it shouldn't be a danger that Calvert-Lewin gets frustrated. Good performance against Spurs. He played a major part in the first goal. Great hold up of the ball and assisted Brendan Aronson to strike. Good workload again for the team. First half, he probably should hit the target, but the goalkeeper is there with the top save. He's maybe 2 inches from when the ball goes through to the box. That happened twice. It's frustrating, but that's the fate of the striker. Sometimes you have periods where you find it a bit more difficult. I'm happy with his performance. If he right now thinks too much about goals and tries to force it, it will never work. He has to do exactly what he's doing. Work for the team, relentless workloads, bring yourself into good positions, and then sometimes you need a bit of luck, a deflected strike or lucky goal, and you find it a bit easier. Now, some of that I do agree with in terms of his work rate and the way that he's holding up the ball. That's fine. What I do disagree with, though, is keep doing what you're doing, because if you're going to continue to keep doing what you're doing, it means you're going to continue to keep missing. All right, you've got to look for anything that can make you better in terms of your conversion rate. We can even talk about 2 shots that the goalkeeper saved. They were very identical. They're instinctive strikes in terms of not taking too much time, just getting it on target. But what can you do differently in those positions to make the goalkeeper possibly not get to the ball, or make it at more of an angle where it's more difficult for the goalkeeper to save it rather than just at his feet? And that's for me where I have to disagree in terms of don't obsess about it. I want you to obsess about it a bit. I do. I don't want you to go home at night at 8 o'clock at night and when you're with your kid and with your girlfriend and go, oh, I wonder how I could do this better. But what I would like is in training, in times where you're actually doing stuff about football, what can I do to make this better? I'm getting into these positions. The chances are coming now. They weren't in the first couple of games. I give him that, but they have been over the last few games. What can I do better? And if you're not doing that, then I don't think that's not the right mentality you should have. You know, you even look at Erling Haaland, who has also missed big chances, but he's missed 6 of them, but his shot conversion rate is 31%. All right. So you're talking at 2 different levels. But the reason why I use Erling Haaland as an example is because Erling Haaland has been a goal scorer forever. But even over the last couple of years, even though he's consistently still scoring, he's still finding other ways in order to Man City to play to his strengths and also to help out the team, which has been noticeable this season more than ever as well, by the way. He's adapted his game a little bit more. That's Erling Haaland, who's at the tippy top. Calvert-Lewin is not on that level. So if he's going to make incremental changes to make himself that bit more valuable, he's got to do that, people. So I hope that he is not obsessing over it, but I hope he is looking into it and thinking, if it comes into this position next time, I'm going to do this differently, because that's going to happen. Because if he's going to continue to have a near 10% conversion rate this season, we're going to be in trouble. Okay, this is a very small sample size, but you could even argue over the sample size of a couple of games that we've lost points because of these misses. You know what I mean? We've had this before with Bamford where he'd miss a bucket load of chances. People aren't getting their cookies, their assists and everything else like that because he couldn't convert. We can't have this again. So DCL, Of course, the fitness is the priority. Stay fit and everything else, and hopefully everything else comes together. But we do need improvement. So please give me your thoughts on that, people, and let me know your thoughts. Should DCL continue to do what he's doing, or could he look to improve? And I'll leave that to you. Now, we've gone into, I say too good, too bad, but it's not that simple for me. What I want is two players from you. I'm sure you'll name more, but two players of you from you that have maybe met your expectations or exceeded them, and two players that maybe aren't up to the standard that you probably thought they would be. So I'm going to go first of all with Jayden Bogle, who for me at this point is our player of the season. And again, people, I'm not talking about individual moments here and there where there might have been a mistake or something else. I'm talking of totality of the game state so far, the games in total up to this point. And for me, Jayden Bogle is our player of the season. I think he's been the most consistent performer on the pitch when he's been on. And it's really surprising, obviously, from when he was at Sheffield United before and he had a disaster of a season like so many of them did there. The fact that he's been able to transfer his championship form into the Premier League so far it's been lovely to see. It really has. And it's so much to the point that when it was almost, considered that he could be out for a game, you're thinking, no, surely not, please. That's how important Jayden Bogle has become to the team. So he easily gets one of my two spots in my good section. The other one is Joe Rodon. Again, talking about the transfer from Championship to Premier League, I think he's been the most consistent defender in terms of, not just defensive contributions, but just overall from our centre back so far in terms of him and Strauch. It's not that it's been perfect for Rodon, but again, this is a general overview, people. Joe Rodon, for me, has transitioned perfectly to the Premier League. I thought he would, but I didn't think it would be this seamless. And he's looked every inch a Premier League defender so far. And long may it continue. I saw a couple of lead sites talking about Vincent Kompany and Bayern Munich. I'm not going to speak about that. I don't think that's true. But what he is doing is he's looking like a very, very capable centre-back at this level, and he's proven a lot of doubters wrong from his time at Tottenham, where he didn't really get much of an opportunity, and he's showing now that he has grown into, to me, he's almost like the captain here. I know Ampadu is a captain, but he's like a secondary captain at this football club. He's always reliable. I think there's a stat about him that he hasn't missed a league game in so long, probably since, Farke dropped him for the Southampton game when he was literally covering for him and Ayling, which is why he got sent off. That's a whole other story. But Rodon, for me, has been the model of consistency, and long may it continue, Joe. Now, two disappointments for me. One is Daniel James, and I know DJ is injured at this point, so it might be a little harsh, but in the games he did play, I just found it very disappointing that he couldn't muster up the quality in order just to put that doubt out of everyone's mind, because everyone knows he was brilliant at championship level, but there was always that doubt. Can he transfer it to the Premier League? So far with the games he's played so far, and hopefully he improves up, obviously, when he comes back from injury, he hasn't shown that. I think he's been very poor with the final ball. Some of the crosses, we know he overhits them at times, but they've been really bad when he's played. And it was so much so that, even before he got injured, there was calls for him to be dropped from the starting 11, which is not ideal for DJ. So for when he's back, and I hope he comes back better than ever, I hope he's got something to prove, because he does have a lot to prove at the Premier League level. The second one for me, and this might surprise you, is Anton Stack. And we're talking about totality of the games, people, but for me, his inconsistency, it baffles me. I can't get a good read of him so far. In some games, he looks brilliant. Other games, as we saw in the last game, he's getting subbed off at 60 minutes, which is unusual for Daniel Farke. And it just shows that there is that inconsistencies to his game. And I thought he would be one of the main players when he got transferred here. Now, Sean Longstaff, he could have been in my good, but he didn't follow up that performance, that man of the match performance. He went back to being Sean Longstaff again. But Anton Stack has given the conversation now to where people are thinking that he should go on the bench, and it should be Longstaff, Ampadu, and Tanaka in midfield. Stack should never have let it gone that way. So when he's starting, or when he gets on the pitch, for me, he's got a lot more to prove, because I think he's got a lot more to give in terms of quality. I think he's got that in his locker, and I'm sure it will come. But I'm talking about to the present day, he would be my second disappointment. So let me know yours in the comments, and give me the reasons why. If you want to name more than two, which I'm sure some of you will, go for it. Just a couple of things to close. You know me, David Batty was one of my players. When we're talking quality, this man exemplifies that. But he's doing his bit to help with the fundraiser for a Howard Wilkinson statue. Howard Wilkinson was the last Leeds United manager before the Premier League started to win the title. Now that was before my time of supporting Leeds, but David Batty did rejoin the club and was involved in that 99-2000 period. And there you go, people. I've mentioned 99-2000. Take a sip, take a shot, take a sip, because I know that happens every time I mention that era. But yeah, David Batty, you never see him these days. It's very rare you get a sighting of David Batty, so it's always lovely to see him because he was one of my favorite midfielders, and it's not even close. Now, just closing up on a couple of transfer things, because we know this club loves broken toys. Tom Lockyer trained at an EFL club as he eyes football return. Thankfully, we're not going in for that one, but you would have thought, ooh, heart issues. Ooh, give me that. Give me that. You know what our recruitment teams like? They would have said, we can fix him. But this is the one where I thought, no, no. And it was Michael Antonio, trains with new Premier League club in surprise twist. Honestly, I thought, no, surely not. Surely not. But thankfully, people, it isn't us. It's Brentford. Okay, he's training at Brentford. But the fact that that even crossed my mind as a genuine thought that, no, no, no. I know we're struggling for a couple of goals, but no, really. The fact that that even crossed my mind just shows you the state of how our window went in the summer. So yeah, people, it's not happening. But I thought I'd just bring it up just for a bit of levity and just say, don't even think about it, Leeds United. But yeah, people, that is it for the video today. I hope you've enjoyed it. And like I say, there's a lot for you to give your thoughts in, especially when it comes to your too good, too bad in terms of players, but also the DCL thing. Does he continue to carry on the same way, or can he improve? Or can he even improve? That's another question. But guys, I'll see you in the next one. Please like the video. Peace out.